Hi everyone, welcome to the Smart Ace Formula series where we solve problems from our popular dark side videos using the formula. The Smart Ace formula helps you accelerate your business outcomes by clarifying your goals and empowering your entire organization to succeed in today's complex world.
We'll provide common sense solutions to complex problems, and we can't wait to show you how the formula works. In this video, we'll apply the SmartAce formula to velocity and describe how we can help you accelerate, clarify, and feel empowered using these 6 concepts. We've all been part of teams where velocity was used for evil purposes, either to monitor the progress of a team compared with another, or over time expecting increases.
A team's velocity measures how much work they completed over a given time period. This information can be helpful when the team is planning, but it's not the ultimate goal for the team. Our goal should always be to deliver value to our customers. Focus on accelerating your value delivery with a consistent velocity and add a concentration on improving quality.
Velocity, especially consistent velocity, is a very powerful tool for any team. Teams can use their past velocities to see what they're able to do reliably. This can then be used in planning to select a backlog that is possible, as well as used later for forecasting a particular delivery date based on the past. Here is a velocity slide from a past team of mine. They were consistent, plus or minus about 3 story points. When teams are this accurate with their estimation, knowing what work they can take into a sprint and deliver on time, they gain trust with their managers. The quickest way to break this trust, though, as manager, is to tell the team it's not good enough, especially if the only data that the manager has to back this up is that the number doesn't match their perception of a good or increasing velocity. Rather than lose trust and demotivate the team, the manager should celebrate knowing that they have a team who can be trusted, who are consistent, and can reliably deliver value. That is exciting.
Another way to accelerate your value delivery is to not have work getting bogged down by quality issues. So much time is wasted during the production process on rework, bug fixing, or tiptoeing around ancient code instead of committing the effort to resolve those issues once and for all. Building time into planning to improve your quality delivers value to your customer. We all agree that a customer values a usable, secure, available, and performant system. Yet for some reason, decisions are made all the time which shortchange prioritization of the work. The smartest way to give that value to the customer is to address those types of NFRs before they become issues, as they are often the ultimate cause for the rework or the bugs that slow the team down.
Creating clarity will also help with velocity. 2 good tips are having a definition of ready and identifying your relative size stories.
A definition of ready clarifies things by making sure that the team doesn't start working on something that isn't ready to be worked on yet. If you want to hear more on that problem, feel free to ask Christina about the movie Waterworld sometime. Or check out our earlier video where she explains how things went wrong for that movie while we discuss the common myth of having no planning in Agile.
That was a fun discussion.
It was. A definition of ready is a checklist you go over with every story during your planning process. If any story is being considered, yet it doesn't check every box on this list, the team has the power to send it back to the backlog. So having a definition of ready sounds great for clarifying the work, but how do we get there? That's where the Smart Ace story maturity process comes in. Your stories need to reach full maturity to be considered ready. A definition of ready ensures that what we're trying to achieve is clearly defined, we know how to measure that it does what was agreed upon, and we have a reasonable estimate of how much effort is needed to complete it. We also, as a team, decide which type of definition of done applies to this piece of work. All questions need to be addressed, and everyone needs to understand the tasks included in the work. Finally, utilize the INVEST criteria. Definitely look online for more detail if INVEST is new to you.
Another great concept to help increase clarity is assigning relative stories. A relative story is a story your team agrees represents that particular size. Relative stories are then used to review potential new stories for a quick sizing. For example, is this new one smaller or larger than a fun size story? This can speed up your estimation practice. But the bonus here is the clarity that comes from the conversation involved. When comparing the new story to the relative story, the team will ask questions, get clarifications, and see potential blocks. The better the stories are understood, the better they'll be estimated, which leads to a more accurate velocity.
I think the real bonus would be if you just send me one of those yard-sized Snickers. These photos are making me hungry.
Me too. I suggest when working on relative stories with your team, provide something fun like candy or fruit, which will help the
Fruit?
team remember the fruit. It'll help the team remember the lesson. If you need help on how to do this virtually, let us know.
Let's talk about how we are empowered with metrics. Treat each team autonomously and avoid micromanagement.
Treat each team like the rock stars they are. Teams are unique with their skill set, their makeup, the technology they use, their current tech stack, and what their goals are. You should not compare teams, nor should you expect Team Hare and Team Tortoise to produce the same amount of story points. Team Hare may be working with a new tech stack, no tech debt yet, and the first generation of a product. They are working towards being consistent. Team Tortoise, though, they may be working on a 20-year-old tech stack, maintaining what was built decades ago, using old technology, and spending their time fixing poor code as new code is layered in. And they are very consistent. These two need to be able to plan and forecast, knowing what they knew last sprint to apply to this sprint. Their velocity should tie to their work and inherently be different. Once the team has established their velocity, they will feel confident committing to work each sprint based on their past performance together. To further empower the teams, your managers need to understand that Team Hare and Team Tortoise will always report different velocities. And that is okay. As long as both are consistent from sprint to sprint, forecasting will be easy for the manager. If the manager is struggling, definitely send them to our classes. We can help.
There are so many stories online about the good parts of micromanagement that I got really sad while researching the topic for this video. There are even companies making tools for time tracking of individual members under the guise of velocity management in Agile. Talk about ruining a team approach to getting work done.
Yeah, we once worked with a Scrum Master who had a spreadsheet that could tell you down to the story point what each developer was expected to complete each day. They bragged to everyone they met about that spreadsheet. Once they left the team, the first thing the team did was get rid of that spreadsheet. No one needs someone telling them how many story points they didn't accomplish by taking a sick day. Story points are not time cards.
Yeah, that level of micromanagement only breeds mistrust and encourages individual competition, not team cohesion. Nothing undermines a person's feeling of empowerment faster than a micromanager. If these situations sound familiar, use a working agreement to establish guidelines and boundaries on how everyone will work, including your manager. Your working agreement will help insulate the team so that nothing gets added to the current iteration without going through the product owner. Next, when discussing velocity projections with a micromanager, make it the norm that every number is attached to a confidence probability. This will head off their questions of velocity commitments, which you all know are guesses anyways. Lastly, measure completed and remaining features and circulate those metrics instead. This gives a meaningful metric to the micromanager, meeting their desire for transparency while keeping the team empowered and in control of their day-to-day workings. The SMART ACE formula emphasizes that you are using metrics to focus on delivering value. In today's episode, we only discussed velocity. However, there are hundreds of metrics that you could use as an organization. Let SMART ACE formula guide you on the best metrics for your business goals. Focus on accelerating your value delivery with a consistent velocity and add a concentration on improving quality. Having a definition of ready and identifying your relative size stories will create the clarity everyone needs. Empowerment with metrics comes from treating each team autonomously and avoiding micromanagement.
By focusing on the A.C.E, the SMART ACE formula helps you accelerate your business outcomes by clarifying your goals and empowering your entire organization to succeed in today's complex world. Thank you for joining us today. To hear more about how the SMART ACE formula can help you or your organization, visit us at smartaceformula.com or email us at smartaceformula@gmail.com.